Chloe's been dead for 5 months today. I need to go back. I've tried 100 times by now, but my powers are gone. I've tried to get them back, but nothing works. Maybe this will. I know it's desperate, but it's all I've left to try. Life or death.
We were utterly aimless before, but that's over. Betamax means business. She's got a plan, and holy shit, she is hell-bent on revenge. I've seen anger in you before, but I have never seen actual hatred for someone. Even with Jefferson. You were always kind of conflicted. Like you couldn't decide whether to hate him or just pity the sick fuck. Getting him arrested was good enough. But Sean Prescott, though, you don't want to just kill him. You want to crush him. You want to see him ruined. I think that's the weirdest part of it all. I know you. It's not in your nature to hate anyone like that. This man broke something inside of you, Max. He changed you. Of all the reasons I have to want him gone, that's number one. But you were in no hurry to get it done. Well, let me rephrase that, because you became crazy focused after we got up in the morning. Nearly every goddamn second was suddenly precious to you. What I meant is that you didn't have to rush off to find him or whatever. Instead, you go to work on giving us the means to do something big and meaningful to fight on his turf. You're on a mission like there's a clock ticking. Come on, tell me why. You get 3 guesses. First try. Yep, you already figured it out. At some point, all your memories would be gone. It could happen at any time because somebody forgot to mention how long she went before using a certain butterfly picture. Bit of an oversight there, huh? Yes, I demand more information next time you travel back in time to save my life. So anyway, better get done as much as possible since the main Max might turn out to be useless, right? Which you kind of did. No offense. Good. Things got pretty quiet and boring for a while, actually. We hole up in a hotel in Glendale and you go all out. By the way, You'd be surprised how insanely easy it is to get a bunch of new identities online. It's kind of gross. What, me? I was all for it. You were a bit scary, sure, but it was also great to have actual goals. I was losing my mind with all the running and hiding, waiting for a disaster to strike again. I wanted to fight back, and that was exactly your plan. So, what can I do to be useful? Well, the Spokane incident was a disgrace, so I'm going to work out so I can carry you for miles if I have to. I don't get do-overs like you, so I better learn to throw a damn punch and aim a damn gun. I have to understand everything you're doing so it's not just you managing all the finance and computer stuff. And you know what? Taking care of you whenever I can makes me feel really good inside. Like back at the beginning, bandaging your hands or driving you around, or watching over your sleep. I guess I have something of my mom in me after all, because I enjoy the shit out of keeping you fed. I get why she liked doing that for us so much. Well, somebody has to, because whenever you're not working, you're training. Your wonderful stay at the Prescott Spa and Resort showed you that you can get way better with your powers. I don't get to see a lot of it because you're constantly rewinding, but you make a point to explain what it's like. Apparently none of it is nearly as fast and awesome from your standpoint, huh? You're always exhausted and drenched in sweat by the time you reach the final timeline, often woozy with migraines. You're somewhat worried, but not enough to stop you. For the record, nothing deadly or violent has happened since the storm. It's like reality flipped out once, and now it's gotten better at handling the changes. That's how you put it, at least. Either way, it isn't much of a choice, is it? You either use everything you have, or we end up getting caught and the powers get abused anyway. That's why we started taking daily photos for the archive. So there's always a last-ditch measure to stay ahead of whatever happens. In fact, you were so single-minded about all this that helping Arcadia Bay didn't even cross your mind before I mentioned it to you. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm getting to that. It doesn't take a genius to see that not all is well in Maxland. Why would it be? This Max went through worse than all the others. And it's like you're dealing with it by working non-stop. More than once you drive yourself far past any sane threshold. And I mean pushing yourself until you literally collapse. It's no fun to watch you do that to yourself. So I bring it up and brace for another argument, but you pretty much agree. It's necessary. We're not fucking around and blah blah blah. You admit there's more to it than that. It's the only way to drop into a dreamless sleep. You tell me all the fucked up thoughts stay away if your body hurts bad enough. It's not like you're dumb, so it's easy to argue that there's no way you can keep up like that. Believe it or not, it's my idea to maybe go see a doctor. I mean, sexing me up is awesome and all, but it'll only help you so much. Aw, got a bigger laugh back then. I've been thinking of David, actually. He was popping pills pretty hard for a long time, so I called him and told him a few things. Nothing supernatural, of course. Basically that we're not doing too well and asked if the drugs helped him much after Iraq. He told me they won't work a miracle, but they do help. Just gotta find out what works for you. He said that therapy at the VA was a load of shit for him, but that we should try anyway. At the very least, he said, don't bottle everything up inside. Don't be like him before Joyce. Talking to her about his issues was the best thing he ever did. It was still a bit weird to talk to him without yelling. We went back and forth about other small things. I tried not to lie. He was really kind and understanding. No judgment about us leaving. You grieve the way you have to, he told me. He sounded so exhausted. I said I was sorry about everything, and he was too. It was a good talk. So yeah, pills, blah blah blah, long story. I ended up on fluvoxamine, which isn't even supposed to be for PTSD, but hey, it's working better than the other stuff. You started on something for a while, but drugs really fuck up your powers for some reason. So, lots of long talks with Dr. Chloe, and try to have happy thoughts, I guess. You got much better over time. So, I'm gonna take some credit for that, if you don't mind. It's very nice of you to say. And also a big fat lie. I was a mess before the storm, Max. It only got worse. I've been talking about you a lot. But I was dealing with a lot of bullshit issues inside my head, too. Not saying drugs fixed everything, that's dumb. Now, I can compare before happy pills and after. I mean, you could tell the difference, right? There's no way you haven't noticed. It feels so much better now. I feel like myself. I don't have to fight down my own anger all the time. I don't have this voice in my head telling me I'm a fuck-up, telling me I'm not worthy of being alive. Not a literal voice, smartass. You know what I mean? I can deal with all the bullshit anxiety about you. All these thoughts of, what if you go crazy? What if they fucking kill you? Or the absolute worst. What if you get into your head? The only way to keep me safe is to leave my side or to kill yourself. I could see you doing that, disappearing one day. Some noble gesture of self-sacrifice that nobody wants. I'm telling you right fucking now, Max. Rather dead than without you. I know it's corny as fuck, but it's the truth. What's the point of doing all this if we don't end up together? Okay, alright. As long as you're aware. God, this is starting to sound like another therapy session. It's basically what we do till New Year. We lie low, we move on, we gather information on the Prescott Empire. You pile on the bank on Arcadia Bay, we train, we test exactly how your powers work, we talk and talk and talk. And squeeze in some sexy times now and then because, seriously, can't keep our paws off each other for long. You went on your solo adventure to your parents a bit after Thanksgiving. By the way, boy, it was nerve-wracking. I wanted to, and of course I did. You travel faster by yourself. Borrow a car, rewind it back, rinse, repeat, no harm done. Hardly took you a day. There and back. They took it the way you'd expect them to take it, but hey, at least you were alive, right? If it weren't for the bogus postcard you'd sent, they'd have reported you missing right away. You had to redo the whole thing several times and get creative to avoid any possible surveillance. It was so rough on you. It broke my heart. I couldn't wait to drown you in hugs when you got back. Of course, we stayed on the phone the whole time. But it sucked so many balls anyway. I've become such a worrywart about you. It's sad. No, we got rid of those and got new phones. We got new everything, Miss Frost. Even a place to live because eating out all the time and a new bed each night gets old fast. Pretty early on, we had a small RV. Very Frank-esque, as you'd say. It was kind of a shitbox, though. So, we upgraded to Time Warp HQ for Christmas. It was weird to realize that suddenly we could afford anything we wanted. I wish. Sorry, but Christmas sucked anyway. Like every Christmas since. My dad. He used to love it so much. Remember? It hits me so hard still. Now with Mom gone too, it wasn't good. Thank you. I swear to you. I want to get over it so bad. I'm so done with all this emo teenage bullshit. I want our next Christmas to be great. They wouldn't want it any other way. You dealt with it like a pro, though. Didn't make me feel bad for moping. Didn't try to crack dumb jokes or anything. You simply gave me space. When I came to you, you helped me. That's all I wanted. That's all I needed. Yeah, you did rewind. You told me I wanted you to, after I blew up in your face just for trying to cheer me up. I was selfish and asked you to break the rules for me, and you did. Oh man, I haven't even mentioned the rules, have I? It's just something to keep things real between us. We'd go bonkers without him. It's real simple. We don't take back arguments or tears or sex. If you had to rewind anyway for whatever reason, you'd tell me. Only exception is if we plan ahead for it like right now. Of course, sex, especially that. Can you imagine the frustration? I'm all ready to go and you're all gone. It's inhumane. I'm telling you, there was this one time. Look, believe me, it can drive a girl crazy. Fuck, it's 5 already? We gotta put you to work. Let's wrap this up. A bunch of stuff happened between New Year's and now, but it doesn't add much to what you already know. It's more of the same. Kind of. Well, except. Alright, yes, the visions. You should know about that. You started getting visions again. It's early January, and we've made it to California to poke around a Prism subsidiary in San Francisco. We're having dinner at this barbecue joint because we felt like it, and suddenly you go quiet. and drop into this weird trance, just staring into nothing, catatonic. You didn't pass out, quite the opposite. You start breathing really hard and gripping the table like you're about to flip it. You come out of it after a minute or so, totally freaked out. You said the restaurant disappeared, and then you were roaming inside this burning building, fire and smoke everywhere. There were screams all around you, loud and horrifying, children wailing like they were burning alive. It's some kind of office building, and you come up to this daycare center, and it's the most horrific sight. Kids banging on a glass pane as the flames eat up the room. Before you can do a damn thing, the whole floor collapses, and the vision ends right as everything crashes into your head. It ruined dinner pretty thoroughly. And so, obviously, you're not going to let this happen, right? It's the tornado all over again. You've no idea what you did to cause it, but this time it'll be different. Right away, you're trying to come up with a plan to find where and how, and maybe you'll get another vision, and you can find out from inside and yada yada yada. And that's when it comes to me, that you can simply cheat the system. I tell you, just take a selfie and let your future self tell me what it needs to happen. Yeah, I feel pretty proud of that one. Who said I couldn't think in 4 dimensions too? Not that I suggested it lightly or anything. A photo jump means another forgotten max, and it sucks to watch that happen. But you do it anyway, and it works. The change after the camera goes off is as weird as usual. But at least this time you're calm and smiling. You say you're a week into the future. It's an office building like any other downtown, hardly half a mile from where we are. Here's the address. Guess what? Right across the street from the place we wanted to check out. Fire happens in 3 days. Tuesday, 11:15 a.m. There's no stopping it. A gas leak deep underground coupled with an electrical fire causes an explosion and a massive power surge that sets off a huge fireball into the elevator shaft. As far as you can tell, you and your powers had nothing to do with it. But we're going to save those people anyway. Best solution you've come up with is to call in a bomb threat 3 hours before. Make it serious and detailed enough that they'll evacuate the place completely. So hey, here's a phone number and the info on a dude that got fired recently from one of the law offices in there. It should work. Glad to be of service, and good luck. Kiss, kiss. Well, your next vision hurts like a bitch and doesn't have children in it anymore, so that's cool. But you're still in there, and people are still screaming. I'm gonna skip ahead and spoil it for you right there. In the end, it isn't you that goes in to get the stragglers and the dumbass skeptics out. It's me. You watch me through the feed, rewind all my mistakes, and tell me what to do at all times. Lots and lots of trial and error. We don't save everyone, but enough, I guess. Way more than if we hadn't gone for it. Wow, is that hard to believe? It makes way more sense than you going in. Sorry to break it to you, but you can't carry anybody for shit, Max. Try to kick a door down and see how far you get. And what's really important, if a rock or whatever falls on your head and you drop unconscious, it's game over forever. This is the way we do things. High risk or intel gathering. I go in, stealthy theft without leaving a mark, you go in. Basically, you only do it yourself if your powers are absolutely necessary to get everything done the way we need it. Yes, of course, you hate to be the one watching, but that's too bad. Get over it. How do you think I feel when you take all the risk? I see you in pain every fucking day, one day or another. You have to let me keep you safe when I can, Max. I know it's hard to watch me get hurt. I know exactly how awful it feels. Just be glad you could take it back at will. I don't have that privilege. Can you tell we've had this conversation before? And how about this? In the final timeline, when all is said and done, I felt awesome. The shit I did was right out of a superhero movie. And those people will forever remember the hyperactive, blue-haired devil that shoved their sorry asses to safety. They saved so many lives that day. I've never been so proud of us. Isn't that worth the pain? What do you mean? It's what ended up happening, isn't it? You had the vision because it happened that way. It happened that way because you had the vision. It's not the first time we get caught in a chicken and egg situation like that. Would we have gone to the lighthouse if you hadn't seen yourself there before the storm? Chew on that one for a while. Anyway, you keep seeing weird shit now and then, but the latest set of visions blows it all out of the water. It all came true 2 weeks ago. And it's how you got that Prism keycard in your wallet. Oh, Prism is the shady parent company that lords over every branch of the Prescott empire. Lots of money in real estate, but they've got their trundles in 100 things. The family business started in Arcadia Bay, but the bastards all over the West Coast and Midwest these days. It's as evil corporation as it gets. These visions, though, they come and go in bits and pieces. Usually, you get to look around and puzzle out what's going on. These 1-second flashes, sudden jolts of what's going to happen, one after another. Shattered glass, blood on your hands. You flicker in and out of standstill mode. Your power's failing, then coming back and then failing again, and then you falling down a 10-story drop in the black of night. The kicker is that this happens in the run-up to the big heist. That key card you got? It's the master key, the backdoor buster for Prism headquarters, and the Prescott estate. The admin of this one office downtown Portland is Walter Hammond, Prism vice president and Prescott second. He's like the real hands-on man that takes care of the mundane stuff. He carries one of these cards in his pocket and has a backup in a strong box right there at that office. The plan is to take that backup without anybody ever finding out. Max, don't ask if you really don't want to know. Let's just say that many Bothans died to bring us this information. Okay, fine, if you insist. You interrogated him at his home. He was tough to crack. You did whatever was necessary until he told you everything, and then rewound the whole thing. You didn't give me a lot more detail than that, but do you really want to know more? I wasn't kidding earlier, you know. The time you spent at their mercy, it broke something inside of you. Nothing was going to stop you from getting even. And you know what? I never blamed you for feeling that way. How could I judge? I was 100% ready to kill Nathan. After we found Rachel's body, I'd be willing to do so much worse if I'd been in your shoes. I know that much about myself. So, yeah, we've got a plan. But these visions make it pretty fucking clear that the plan goes to shit somehow. We do the selfie cheat and nothing happens, which means either the outcome of whatever we do is good enough, or, you know, you're too dead to use the photo. Or the photo itself got destroyed somehow. It's not the best sign. So, obviously, we abort, right? Nope. 1, you're still on the clock. Don't think Betamax ever forgot. This needs to be done, and planning something else would take forever. 2, we're going to use those visions to prepare, because we've seen that the details aren't set in stone. And 3, you're goddamn curious as to what the hell gave us away, because nobody but us knew what we were up to. We never found out, which was another point for the Prescott has some kind of oracle theory. They seem to know only some very specific things ahead of time, just like your own visions. So, into the fray you go anyway. I admit, I was sulking about it. Not going to apologize for that. Middle of the night, standard bomb your way in and rewind strategy. Rewind a few times past security, take the stairs, another pipe bomb, fun time, and you're in. I've become so good at making those, by the way. I'd make such a great homebrewed terrorist. So, you're in the storage room, opening up that strong box, and the moment you stick your hand in there to grab everything you can, all hell breaks loose. It's like they were hiding under the rug or something. You're, obviously, expecting it, so the rewind kicks in faster than the darts and tasers can reach you. They're still trying to take you alive, which is a good thing. You go back in an hour, and the ambush still happens. 2 hours. 3, 4, always there. You just can't go back anymore. I guess they puzzled out how you operate after months of dealing with our shenanigans. On my end, it's 11 p.m. and you've just disappeared from our car mid-conversation. Most of the stuff I'm telling you is what you told me later. And before you ask, yes, it gets super old to plan ahead for all the possible time jumps and adapt to whatever the hell happens in the final timeline. It's a rough life. Such is the fate of the trusty sidekick. Your feet is starting to show all of the havoc. Can't rewind anymore. So you're stuck with freezing time and walking in the standstill, which still fucks you up pretty hardcore despite all the work you've been doing. It's a crazy mess. You have to literally climb over the bodies, and you can't sustain the freeze after pushing the rewind so hard. You're skipping in and out, heading for the window, like they're not aiming at you. They're aiming at where you might be in a few seconds. You shoot the glass pane ahead and run for it, jumping hopscotch through space like you're fading in and out of reality. And something hits your leg. You stagger and crash through the shattered glass as 50,000 volts make jelly out of your brain. The screen is so distorted and unnatural, like you got thrown into a blender or something. Most blood-curdling sound I've ever heard in my life. Right away, I'm peeling out of the parking spot and racing to the side of the building. I can see you dropping like dead weight up there. I'm screaming like a maniac for you to wake the fuck up. There's this awful sense of impending doom clumping up in my gut. It's literally 1 second before you hit the ground. That suddenly, you slow down just enough not to splat, then drop the last few feet and crumble onto the floor. I get out, drag you onto the car, and get the fuck out. You pass out in the passenger seat, so goodbye to rewinding the whole thing and not leaving a trace. And they obviously know you took the card, so they'll simply update the system and make it obsolete. The key card is nothing but a worthless piece of plastic now. So that's why you snuck in during the weekend and left a very discreet pen drive plugged into his computer. Boom! Plot twist! Was it good? Did you see it coming? In the visions, it was nighttime. Get it? So we come up with something else. We don't need to hide, taking the key card if we have full access to top-level clearance computer. The flash drive very quietly installs a Trojan horse. All we gotta do is connect remotely and do whatever we want. And I happen to have learned elite hacksaw skills, yo. Sorry. You time the rewind down to the second. On a security camera, you would flash there for an instant, plug in the thing, then disappear. Hardly something anyone would notice. I know, it's so damn tricky. When you take an object, it stays with you through the rewind, right? But if you let go of something, then rewind, it'll go back to your pocket or hand or whatever. Only exception is that anything that's part of you, your DNA, I guess, hair, fingernails, bodily fluids, and solids, if you catch my drift, they stay unaffected, at least until they break apart enough not to be considered yours anymore. You bet we tested it. You stared at your poop in the toilet while going back in time. It was very scientific. Yeah, let's move on from that. So, the pen drive is plugged into the computer, and because it was obvious what we were trying to do with the strong box and the key card, they don't suspect a damn thing. Ta-da! Oh, it's ever so tempting to go all out. Sell stock and property left and right, donate every penny to charities all over the world, and fuck up the computer systems real good. But then we'd be tipping our hand. We want to make the keycard functional again, when no one's looking, and then leave it alone. Everything's connected and remotely accessed, so it's a total cakewalk. It's okay, we couldn't outright ruin anything anyway. It's a huge company. You don't leave the whole thing vulnerable to one hacked computer. That's crazy. Could have done some damage, but nothing at all significant in the long run. And that's what we care about, the long game. Which brings us to this morning. On our way to downtown Olympia and Prism headquarters, Prescott would be there. He'd already rewound once to have Helen give us his exact location throughout the morning. You were about to get your hands on that man and make him tell you absolutely everything. And then you were going to kill him, like we already established. The time you showed up was less than ideal. I'm just teasing you. Dude, look, I know exactly what you're thinking. It's been at the back of my head this whole time. It's okay. You can stop fidgeting now. You're not disappointing me. Max, seriously. It's okay, I get it. You don't have it anymore. That near insane drive of yours is gone. I don't expect you to feel that way. Honestly, I don't want you to. Believe me, I'm glad you're not as fucked up inside. It's a huge relief. But it sure brings up a pretty important question, doesn't it? It's the big fat elephant in the room. What do we do now?
sunset.